Shaman and the World Tree, on the edge of a torn existence. I am the Shaman Jorvik. They say that I am an unusual shaman, because I do not rely on blind faith, but trust only my inquisitive mind and real experience. Perhaps people are right. I do not worship the gods Tungri, Itujin, Erlik. I prefer to speak to them boldly, as an equal, younger but equal. Lately, I have noticed that my gods are weakening. Prayers remain unanswered. Temples are destroyed. Divine relics turn to dust. I do not grieve about this. I ask questions. Why is this happening? If the gods are weakening and dying, then there is a reason for this. The elders call my questions blasphemy, but I do not think so. I do not renounce my questions. For this, the elders sentenced me to exile from the village as a troublemaker. Without food and water, without warm shelter, without a hunting weapon, I am doomed to a quick death. I have nowhere to go. Without thinking, I go to a distant holy place, where there is a tiny cave in the rock. The cave can serve as a temporary shelter for me. This holy place is very strange. In an ancient, half-forgotten language, it is called the World Tree, although there are no trees around, only deserted bare hills. Probably in ancient times, a sacred grove rustled here. In the cave, I spread a wolf skin under me and immerse myself in meditation. I understand that I will most likely not be able to emerge from meditation, because in the cold cave my body will stiffen and turn into a frozen idol. But I don't care. If I am destined to die, then it is better to die in meditation, focusing my attention on the mystery of the questions that torment me. Meditation envelopes me in a blanket woven from semi-darkness. I see a torch in my hand, burning with a cold flame. It lights my way. I am going to an unknown destination. Suddenly, I find myself on the edge of a cliff. A dark abyss opens up before me. I want to see its bottom, but I see nothing. I recklessly throw the torch into the abyss. The abyss swallows it and its light without a trace. I stand on the edge of the abyss in indecision. I carefully turn my back to the abyss so as not to stumble in the darkness and return back in one piece. But meditation completely absorbs me. I lose my bearings for retreat. Perhaps there is no way back. If you stand in the darkness for a long time on the edge of the abyss, with your back to it, you begin to feel how the abyss draws you in. I feel a slight swaying of the body, and at the same moment I fly down, backwards. The blanket around me opens up and makes my fall soft, drawn out. The fall lasts a long time, so long that the fear of hitting my back on the bottom of the abyss disappears. I relax and remember my tormenting questions. At the same moment, the fall stops, and I find myself in an unseen place, as if I am in a thicket of numerous threads hanging from somewhere above and descending far below. In some places, the threads hang in tangled bunches, and in other places they are woven into canvases with bizarre, multicolored patterns. Each thread sparkles like a fiery, self-luminous vein. Amidst this chaos, I notice a bulky, spider-like figure in front of me, swarming among a pile of threads. With its large bony fingers, the creature constantly sorts through the threads, ties and unties knots in them, weaves them into delicate webs that pulsate in a single rhythm. I watch the creature's work, fascinated, and finally remember, yes, this is the Weaver. My mentor told me about him many years ago. The Weaver lives in the root core of the World Tree. The Weaver creates webs and canvases of existence, where each thread shimmers with the reflections of past eras and the glow of future events. So this is where I ended up. I boldly stepped closer to the Weaver. You should not be here, mortal. The Weaver's voice is like the rustle of old parchment in the wind. I seek the truth. Why do gods die? I do not hear my voice, but my words clearly vibrate in my head. The Weaver understands me. They do not die. They fade away. Why? Because they were never gods. They are just echoes. The Weaver falls silent. Speak. I want to know the truth. The weaver is silent for a long time, as if weighing whether I am worthy of hearing the truth. Then he continues, "Every god was once mortal. Subsequent elevation came to him thanks to the memory and faith of people in the flow of time. A military leader became a god of war. A rain caller became a goddess of the harvest. A healer became a divine protector. But eras changed eras. Revered names were lost, disappeared, dissolved in myths. The weaver's revelation squeezes my mind. So, the gods are just stories? I barely pronounce. Yes, stories give them power, but even stories can be rewritten or forgotten. My jaws clench with a grinding sound. If the gods are just a half-forgotten story, then they are not true. If they are not true, then they are false. Then what connects people to them is also a lie. Then, for a moment, I am afraid of the development of my own thought. My gaze stops on a brightly pulsating vein, half hidden in a bundle of threads that are unlike it. It hangs next to my head, next to my temple, pulsating in unison with it. What is it? I ask. This is the root of your time. This is the first story, the one that gives birth to the following stories, the one that connects people to their reality and gods. I run my fingers along the vein, and I feel how all things, events, people past, present, and future are compressed into one trembling thread. It means that if this root vein is cut, the illusions of false gods will cease. History will be freed from the shackles of lies. Reality will no longer be bound by the echoes of the past. I take my ritual obsidian knife from under my belt. I raise the sharpened blade to cut the spiritual and the physical in two. Do not confuse the truth with your own salvation, whispers the weaver. But it is too late. I strike. The moment my blade touches the root of time, the universe shudders. The sky shatters into fragments of light and darkness. Time stops weaving into an orderly pattern, shrinks into a ring, and falls into itself. Villages, people, animals rise and fall. Their appearance is distorted. The meaning of their existence is lost. The oceans boil and freeze. I myself am suffocating. I see how my own body changes. Sometimes I am a child, sometimes an old man, sometimes no one at all, sometimes everything at once. The weaver does not move, he watches me. Finally, I fall to my knees. His gaze pierces me. I feel that his gaze is directed further, much further, beyond time, beyond existence, beyond the edge of my torn existence. The weaver rustles in a whisper that echoes throughout my body. There is another root there. There is always another root there. You did not destroy history. You only turned its next page. The weaver devastates me with the terrible truth. I did not free the world from illusions. I exchanged one illusion for another. I still kneel in silent numbness. I wanted to know the truth, and I have found it. Once again, I have nowhere to go. The weaver sighs deeply in my direction. Mortals should not be here. He turns away from me and begins to weave his new pattern. And I, caught by the breath of his exhalation, fly down the dark abyss again, backwards. I no longer have any thoughts, no questions. I fly for so long that I stop feeling the state of flight. I begin to feel myself flying in all directions in a huge, rapidly opening space. I fill the entire space with my invisible, all-pervading, light body. I remember my small mortal body sitting in a cold cave. It's time to return to it before it freezes completely. However, the power of my concentrated thought does not return me back. Why is that? Once again, I clearly imagine my body, the cave, and the surroundings of a strange, holy place called the World Tree. The expected return to the previous place does not happen. Instead, the space of my flight becomes visible. It is illuminated by a self-luminous soft light in blue and violet tones. I see stars, myriads of stars. I perceive their living presence with my whole body. From edge to edge, the stars form a grandiose, shimmering column in space. This is the Milky Way column. I have seen it many times during my night vigils. I boldly and joyfully feel the majestic column with the core of my spine. At the same time, much knowledge and answers to still unasked questions come to me. I become like a thinking ocean. A shade of slight regret informs me that I will not be able to return back, because I carelessly cut the vein of my time, and now the passage to my time is closed to me. From now on, my dwelling is the Milky Way column. It is also, as I already understand, the trunk of the world tree. A spark of my consciousness is lost somewhere among the stars, like a glowing apple on the branches of the world tree. I notice that there are many such apples around. Farewell.